Hi everyone, I'm Tom Cronley, candidate for Chief Executive for Butte Silverbow. Out for a Sunday drive with my family. We're uptown Butte driving around. One of the things I've always liked to do is I always like to look at these old buildings and try to envision what it would have been like 100 years ago when uptown Butte was booming and all these buildings were new, and how cool that would have been. I've always loved the history of Butte, and I love the pride and being able to say I'm from Butte, Montana, and from Butte, America. It's kind of been a badge of honor my entire life. One of the things I want to talk about today is pride, but I want to talk about it in a kind of a different sense. If any of you watch my video where I talk about economic development, I talk about my plan to aggressively recruit businesses, specifically manufacturing businesses, to Butte, and I've got some tactics that I want to employ to do that. But I also want to talk a little bit about Butte as a product. One of the things that I was able to do last year was participate in this group of people that were brought to town. They're called the site selectors. So Butte Silverbow, the Butte Local Development Corporation, the Chamber of Commerce had these consultants whose job is to companies hire them to go find locations for them to grow and to expand their manufacturing, or to open up new retail or whatever it is. These guys are experts, and gals are experts on assessing communities and looking what the strengths are from a community and help marketing that to prospective companies. And they were here for a week. They got a chance to tour the industrial park south of town. They went out to the Montana Connections Park out in Ramsey. They were here during the folk festival, so they got to experience some of the cultural aspects of our community. They also got a chance to experience Southwest Montana. They got a really good flavor for what it would be like to live in Butte, and they were very impressed. They love Southwestern Montana. They love what we've got as a community. They love our history. And so what they did after a week of touring around, they actually went up to the archives building and had a meeting where they debriefed the community. And I was at all these meetings. As I said, I'm on the board of the chamber. So I'm at this meeting, and they asked for feedback. The people that were facilitating the meeting asked these site selectors to say, so what do you think? And they gave us all the positive feedback, and then they said, okay, here's the things that as a community you guys could do better. One of the things they talked about is how does our community look from a first impression standpoint? And they talked specifically about, they love the old buildings, but they commented about a lot of old rundown buildings. And one of the guys was actually from Philadelphia, and he says, I live in a neighborhood that's 100 years older than Butte. And old does not mean to be worn down. And so he really challenged the folks in the room to do something about that. And the analogy I like to use is if you were selling your truck and you just got done playing in the mud, before you put the for sale sign in the window, you probably would run it through the car wash. You might wax it if it's really bad. And if you're really ambitious, you might buy a can of air freshener, the new car air freshener, and clean it up. That's kind of where my head's at when it talks to when we're thinking about economic development. If we want to sell our product, Butte, we need to shine it up a little bit. And so, as a county, there's a lot of things that I think the county and the chief executive can do to help set the tone. For one, we have a lot of county-owned properties in our parks and open spaces. We need to make certain that those are pristine, that there's no graffiti, that if there's garbage, it's addressed quickly. And I think the county has an obligation to set the tone. So if I'm elected, that's going to be something that's going to be high on my list, not just because it's good for the economy, but I take pride in being from Butte, and I think most people do. I want to set a high bar. There's incentives out there for businesses and property owners to actually improve your properties. There's programs to help your sidewalks. If you've got sidewalks that are falling apart, the county has grant money available to help you do that. There's programs to help with just even painting and aesthetics. And as a chief executive, that's something I want to work with. We need to improve our first impression. I love this building here on the corner of Montana and Park Street. It's where Taco del Sol is. They're making investments in this building. They've got all new windows. Some of that money came from grants that are available, and they've done a good job of making a good first impression. As you pull into Uptown Butte, that's one of the first buildings you see. So it's going to be a priority for me. If you put me in office, I'm going to make certain that the county sets the standard, that we're going to do our part, and I'm going to talk about community pride. I remember when I was a kid, Don People Sr. was the chief executive, and when I was younger, we had a lot of community events that were geared around improving the aesthetics of our community. I was a Boy Scout, Cub Scout, and I remember we would do Saturdays in the summer, we'd go clean up garbage and do the things that we could do. So I want to challenge all the property owners, especially business owners, to take advantage of the money that's out there from the county and really take a look at our product and say, would you buy it? If you're hesitant, if you're hesitant, then I think that would be a good indicator that we need to do something different. And as a chief executive, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set the tone for everyone. The county's going to lead the charge. All you guys have to do is elect me, and I'll do all the work. So enjoy your day. Get out and about. We're all kind of quarantined a little bit, but we can get out and drive around and see Butte. Look at the cool buildings, look at the architecture, and I just want to thank all these property owners that have done a good job of making a good first impression for prospective students that are wanting to come to Tech and for prospective businesses that want to come to Butte. So keep the faith. Let's have a great day, and thanks for your time. Bye-bye.